Um, welcome, welcome to the DG show with Dana and Coco. I'm going solo tonight, trying to get everything in order. That's gonna throw me off. YouTube on a delay. It is. I'm trying to see how long. I gotta. Welcome to the DG show with Dana and Coco. I'm going solo tonight. Give me 1 second, folks. Trying to get everything in order. There we go. What's up, folks? Welcome to the DG show with Dana and Coco. Sunday nights, 7 to 8, live on TikTok. We're going to get into Takeoff tonight. Y'all see what it is. That's what it is right there. Black on Black love. Merch coming. I'm working on it. A little stressed out, but I'm working on it. All right. What's up, folks on TikTok? I am also live on YouTube, The Angry Black Dude. It will also be downloaded on my Facebook by tomorrow morning. Sundays right here. But let's get into the conversation. Takeoff from the Migos. The brother was murdered during a dice game. So as I was writing down notes for this show and getting into things, and I wrote down art clashes with reality. Art clashes with, it used to be that art mimicked reality, but he never claimed to be that dude. You understand what I'm saying? But he was in a illegal dice game, hood stuff that a lot of the Black community would say is man shit. All right, we're gonna say that's what we say. Those kinds of things are. We get into it. All right. So remember, I'm 53. So when computers first came out, way back then, there was a term called garbage in, garbage out, and we're living through that right now. It was a computer term, meaning whatever you put in the computer, that's what you get out. If you put in something wrong, that's what you get out. That's what I kept coming to when as I thought about this situation, this another Black murder situation. Oh, let me touch on this real quick before I get into Takeoff. And it's connected. It's definitely connected. So I want you in the Black community to think about, since he's passed, how many people have passed away from murder in your town or city or in your area that you've heard on the news or heard stories for? So then the question is, someone asked, was it actually illegal? Yeah, it was illegal. Was it at a casino? That's the question. See, we're not giving excuses. We're not giving excuses, folks. Was it actually illegal? I don't know. It was guns up in there. Was it actually illegal? Of course it was. You know why? Because you can't have guns nowhere near a casino or any kind of legal gambling. It's highly watched over. You understand that? It's highly watched over. So I'm gonna say it like that. Okay. Made me made me think about it real quick. We're not doing excuses when death comes. So I'm gonna get back to what I was talking about. People in the US always, it has nothing to do with a casino. Stop looking for excuses. That has nothing to do with, and for you YouTube folks, I'm on TikTok also, so I'm answering someone who's giving excuses to why that brother was there, that multimillionaire who, if he wanted to gamble, could have went to any casino in the world, but he didn't want to. He wanted to be around hood shit. That's what he wanted to be around. As many people are trying to get out of the hood and get away from hood shit, for some reason, our celebrities idolize, our celebrities push our community towards hood shit. They ain't living in it. They just want to visit and leave. Like the brother that got hit at the Waffle House. What is it, P&B Rock? Same thing. He wanted to do hood shit, show everybody he did it. He survived, and he didn't survive. That's what he wanted to show, in my opinion. I'm doing hood shit. I'm at the Waffle House. I'm a multi-millionaire at the Waffle House, and I'm good. No, you're not good. You're around a whole bunch of impoverished folks. But y'all not even let me get to my notes. Y'all got me. Not giving excuses. I'm interacting. Nah, you ain't adding more to the conversation. You giving excuses to why that brother was there. Everybody understand guns don't be around no legal gambling. Get out of here with that. Anyway, let's get back to the notes. All right. So I wanted to, as I was taking notes on this more and more, it kept bringing me to how do we define manhood? And I'm talking about Black men, and I'm talking about the Black community in general. How we define manhood keeps us doing the same repetition, meaning wanting to do certain activities or certain actions because we have access now, because we have revenue, we're getting attention because we're doing it, but we're not thinking about actual things that we need to think about. If we're defining our manhood, first and foremost, we have to think about who we have to take care of and who we're supposed to take care of. Who are we supposed to take care of? Meaning, if we have wives, definitely our children. If the economics are there, participate in community and building a community, without a doubt, all of that. But a lot of times when we get the revenue, we want to go, I don't want to say backwards. I want to say we want to do things that get us attention. I'm going to say it that way. Whether it's the vehicles, whether it's going back to your old neighborhood where everything's impoverished and you just want to hang out the flex, all of that stuff is how we define our manhood through our actions. Having fun versus responsibility is basically what I'm saying. How can I put it? How do we define manhood? Just a minute. Let me check my notes real quick. How we define manhood, always, that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so the celebrities feed us Black celebrities, hip hop folks. They feed our community a sense of destruction. I'm gonna say it that way. And everything we do, and the more destructive, the better. Not just the gun bar lyrics, but actual actions and videos as well as their lives, how they carry themselves. I think I did the video either last week or week before last about Young Jock. He's got 8 baby mamas. That's glorified for a whole lot of folks, and a whole lot more don't see anything wrong with it. But that may be, and most likely is, how he defines manhood, through how many children he can have. But that's broken homes, 100%. At least, I want to say he has 8, one more on the way, but 8 children by 4 women. That's 4 broken homes. He's not with any of them others. That's 4 broken homes with 8 children. But if that's how he defines manhood, and he's not chastised or checked on it, and that's, I think, the missing, I think that's the missing component. I'm gonna say that. I think that's the missing component as far as, let's see if we can invite Dana up in here. You coming in, Dana? Let's see. But anyway, as far as the Young Jock, I appreciate it, Jody. As far as Young Jock, a lot of Black men define manhood that way, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, whether we choose to speak on it or not. A lot of men define manhood on how many children they have, on how many women they can get or sleep with. Why? I don't know. I don't know specifics, because there's men older than me that'll sit around me and just talk about ass. It's a turn off to me, because I'm looking for jewels of life, but they're still on, excuse me, what young men are on.
And I don't get that, but it's a lot of men that way. And it makes me go to what I always say, maturity has no age, and it doesn't. It doesn't, but it's something in the Black community where we connect children with our manhood or how proud we are and things of that nature. And I think that's a disconnect to reality, because children are responsibility, money, and all your time if you're doing it right. If you're doing it right. But I wanted to, the celebs are an issue, but how the Black community sees themselves. And let me break down what I mean. When I was thinking about this show, my mind went into a space where how we treat convicts coming home versus someone finishing college or a trade school, and even the time they're doing. So I'm thinking of maybe a 2 or 3 year process, because I'm thinking trade school too. So when a brother get locked up, people raising bail, people raising lawyer money, people sending money over. People are taking their time to go visit them, sometimes weekly. Accepting phone, all of that is economics and attention, right? Now let's take someone, I'm gonna take myself. I graduated from trade school, CDL school, 6-month class. This was back in the 90s, right? 6 months. No acknowledgement when I got my CDL. No, I want to say maybe my mother congratulated me. A couple of folks my lady at the time congratulated me, but nothing else. And we were broke at the time, 2 children in the house, right? I think it was 1 at the time, just one, my oldest, but was broke. No help from anyone. No one offered anything. Why? Because I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was doing the responsible thing, but the irresponsible one is getting the attention. In fact, a lot of times they're getting more attention in prison than they do when they come home. And we wonder why the dynamic is there of young men thinking it's cool to keep going back. It's how they define manhood. Many for prison, and I'm going to say this, when I used to run the street, mid-90s, and me and the juvenile got chipped at the same time. So we're in the back of the car before they separated us, because he was a juvenile. And his words were, I always wanted to see what it was like to get locked up. That was that's what, he was okay with it. I'm stressed. I know bail coming. I'm hoping I got enough tuck to come home, right? I understand that. Him, by the time he became an adult, he wound up doing 9 years. Real. Because that's what he saw. That's what the men around him were doing. They were coming home with a smile, talking about, ain't nobody boycotting no NBA. Get out of here, skedaddle. Boycott the NBA. Nah, we not boycotting nothing. Anyway, we talking about Black manhood right now. That's what we talking about. Black manhood and how it's defined and how it's hurting our community. That's what the discussion is right now. Anyway, but that young man, not a young man anymore, he wound up doing, I want to say 9. He might have got sentenced to 9, wound up doing like 7. Because that's how he defined manhood. I'm talking about, and then I want to, okay. These specifics I'm talking about as far as with this young man, his mother knew he ran the street, teenager, rarely went to school. His grandmother watched him hustle, and they were okay with it. It was expected. That's how he defined manhood. So when he gets older and he's in the street, and he was a hustler. That was it. But other gentlemen, they might be gunslingers. They might be coming up as fighters in the family, and cousins calling them, I need your help constantly. That's what he does. And that's what they love him for. But when he's unleashed in the community, now, he shouldn't have done that. He knew what nah. That's how he was groomed to define his manhood, whether we choose to understand it or not. It doesn't start out as men not knowing how to de-escalate, or not knowing how to be progressive in a intelligent manner, meaning skills, reading skills, math skills, hand skills, not fighting. I'm talking about plumbing, electricity. I'm talking about truck driving, mason. I'm talking about those hand skills. When we're not groomed for that, we're going to be groomed for something else. And I'm not talking about just sports, instruments, coding. When we're not groomed for that, we're going to define manhood in another way. And a lot of times when we get, how can I put it? Coming it back to Takeoff. When we get the economics and we go a legal route, still how we define manhood is still in our head. So we still want to go back a lot of times to those areas, not give back, just to flex, because that's part of that manhood, just to be shiny on somebody, just to say, look at what I got and how I did it. And we go back to those areas that's not safe any longer for us because of economics. That could be somebody just making 80,000 a year, depending on where you're from. When you go back, you're not doing nothing for the community. You just coming back to flex and shine, or even be around impoverished folks that don't know you at all. That's danger. But if you succeed and you go make it home from that danger, that's man shit. I went through the hood. Yeah, they was out there doing this, that. Yeah. That's man shit by a whole lot of men in the Black community, whether we choose to understand that or not. That's on us to understand, but we need to. You understand? Anyway, real quick, this is the DG show with Dana and Coco. I'm going solo tonight. The ladies have something to do. 7 to 8, YouTube as well as TikTok. I appreciate the audience that's watching right now. Please follow. But we're specifically talking about Takeoff and how the Black community keep on going through the same shit. It ain't really no other way to put it. We're going through the same shit, folks. And that means, and like I say, when I saw certain things in the 90s, it was already generational. So it starts early. We can't act like it doesn't start with our boys. We can't act like it doesn't. It's been generational. Fathers, grandfathers, fathers, and grandsons all going to prison at different times is generational. And it also means those men weren't there to do what they were supposed to do. And depending on how they took prison, they put it to that young man, whether it's the son or the grandson, in the way of, I handle myself. I did that. It used to be a saying that say, man, I could do 5 years standing on my head. That means with ease. Who wants to miss 5 years out of their life? Who wants to do that unless that's how they define the manhood? We have to redefine. We have to get into conflict resolution. And this part of the conversation with a lot of men, it gets soft. You feel what I'm saying? It gets a little soft for certain men. And but those are the men that need to go. They the ones that need to be brushed to the side. Those are the ones that need to be ignored in public when you're trying to de-escalate something and you see them wanting to go from 0 to 100 over something very minor. They need to go. Conflict resolution needs to be taught at a very young age. Small things, sharing toys, getting upset by losing a game. You hear your child in their room cussing the game out because they lose, y'all need to have some conversations with them. That's just reality. He needs to regulate and understand what's real and what's not, and then the consequences of if it was real. You have a young man or young lady in your house breaking stuff up when they get mad, you better address it because it's gonna come out in the community. That's where it's coming. In the community. if it's not controlled in the house, or at least acknowledged, at least, I ain't even gonna say acknowledged, I'm gonna say groomed. Because we can groom our children. We groom our children to be the best football players in Little League all the time, the best basketball player in Little League all the time. We can groom them to think about conflict resolution. We can groom them to think and understand about putting your hands on someone and the consequences of that. Because they're going to define their manhood based off of their childhood. I'm not, and what they went through, what they witnessed. Oh, and one more thing with that, with the children. What they see and hear counts more than what you tell them. Always. That's just with children. But if you're listening to violent music all the time, they're embracing that. Have an understanding that we learn through song, especially Black folks. We learn through song. ABCs is A, B, C, D, E. It's rhythm. It's rhythm. Timetables. It's rhythm. 1 times 1 is 1. All of that. So if death, murder, kill, pop pills, you only live once. If all of that is in the repertoire of a child coming up, how do you think that translates to adulthood, especially boys becoming men? And they're defining manhood as aggressive behavior. I don't know. I don't know if we understand how, I mean, there's other dynamics to this violence, but conflict resolution is huge. Another huge thing, whether we choose to acknowledge it or not, is education level. And even on a more basic level, literacy. We're in Baltimore City. I want to say maybe 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, there's a high school here called Digital Harbor, right? When they made it was a big deal when that high school came into play. Well, about 3 or 4 years ago, it was in the paper that 0% of the seniors, which all graduated, 0% were on the reading proficiency level or a math proficiency level, but they graduated anyway. Why? You know, George Bush and No Child Left Behind. But more importantly, why is that's generational too. None of my children could be illiterate because I read, they've seen me read, and I made sure they know how to read. That's just what it is. Certain things you have to make a choice. Okay, if I have that shortcoming, I'm going to make sure my child is in tutoring. I'm going to make sure they're in a reading club. I'm going to make sure they read to me, even if I don't necessarily understand everything they're saying or the words that they're saying. You understand? It's a process. It's a process that many of us aren't looking at because it's time consuming. This issue of Black men killing Black men is time consuming anyway. Everyone's stressed out. Mama crying, grandmama crying, children distraught. So we either going to take the steps or we're going to keep on bullshitting each other. That's how I see it. That's why I do no cut cards with any of my videos. I just can't. I don't want to do the babying. It's either we're going to change or we're not. But we see what it is when we don't. Now, the brother Takeoff got killed. The first video I saw was the brother Jay Prince saying, "Don't ask me shit," and walking away, which actually means he knows everything. But that's the code. That's manhood in our community. The murderer walks, but he won't kill again. He won't kill again. That's what happens at our, don't say nothing. Somebody, you know, somebody a stick up boy, you know, somebody mother got stuck up, you know they did it. Don't say nothing. And you a stand-up dude. Y'all getting it? Everything is flipped for us. Not everything. We're definitely getting progressive in a lot of ways. We're definitely learning about ourselves in a lot of ways. But we have to start to acknowledge our shortcomings and have a better understanding of how to alleviate this issue of unwanted death and violence in our neighborhoods. That's just what it is. Let me see if I can get back to my notes, get back on track a little bit. I've just been running my mouth, whether y'all understand it or not. And when I was speaking on folks coming home from prison versus people finishing college or trade school and the different reactions, that's a sign of how your family defines manhood. Understand that. That's if you know grandma going, boy, he coming home, I'm cooking, everybody. That's how your family, a piece of how they define manhood. Definitely not all, not absolute. You understand what I'm saying? But that's a piece. So if you have a young man in your house and he's watching that, you better have a discussion with him. You better grab somebody that did prison time and give them the reality of prison. No cut cards. No cut cards. That's the way it should be. Have those, he a little knucklehead, have him talk to that. Have him talk to somebody that you know was dealing with boys in prison. Have him talk to him. Have him talk to somebody that you know was running up in their cell on cells on commissary day, taking everybody's stuff. Have them talk to them. The reality has to hit them when you see them stray a little bit. The attention has to be there, but directed in a different way. You understand? Yeah, a lot of Black families define manhood through the negative stuff we survive. I'm gonna say it that way. The negative stuff we survive. But guess what? The country also defines Blackness on the negative stuff that we survive. That's how the country treats us in general. And they're gonna continue to until we treat ourselves better. They won't have a choice when we treat ourselves better. But right now, we're replicating what was handed down and pushed on us, but we made it look good. We make everything look good, goddamn. That's just the understanding with the Black community. We make the worst. Remember now, soul food is slave food, but it tastes delicious. We make everything look good, but we've become complacent with this violence and with this definition of manhood. We've become complacent. And I believe that we need to change. It's just time to change. If you're tired, because I'm tired. I'm tired of, and what y'all don't understand is, and this is getting a little bit deeper as far as what's going on in this world as far as the abortion bans and all those things. If we just stop the murders, it's a Black baby boom. If we just stop killing each other, within 5 years, it's a Black baby boom. Because nobody, and it'll be a domino effect, because that means less going to prison. And most times we get locked up when? During our child aid, our child rearing, not rearing, when we have children the most, them late teens to the mid 30s. That's when we're getting locked up. It would be a Black baby boom and you would see America be distraught that we're not going to prison and we're taking care of home and our communities are clean and we're getting along together. They would be distraught. You understand that? Automatic baby boom. Someone just asked the topic. The topic is Takeoff and art clashing with the street. And then I'm talking specifically about how we define manhood in the Black community. So we're getting into that. But that's a Black baby boom, folks. Whether y'all understand it, we're not even talking about women's rights. We don't have to discuss that for it to be a Black baby boom. We just have to love each other. That's it. We just have to walk away when we have issues with each other. That's it. Yeah. I hope y'all, and I'm gonna say this, our consciousness is growing during this shift, and I hope y'all understand it's a shift. Our consciousness is growing. So this discussion is in line with what's going on, but negativity is still popular in our community. So it has to continuously get pushed down. It just has to continuously get pushed down, away, out, all of that. We getting money now. Think about that, folks. What did our ancestors and our elders fight for? Economics was always in it. We wanted to be treated right without a doubt. Or I didn't even say treated right, just leave us alone and we good. But economics was always, we have the economics now on a very large scale. But for some reason, the negativity's still there. So it's something else that we have to figure out. Because we have the economics to do everything we need to do. But for some reason, between materialism and my app closed, I'm sorry. Yeah, it said to cool down my phone. I'm trying to go back. That was TikTok. Hold up, YouTube, I'm still with you. It's getting hot, it won't let me come back on. On YouTube? No, I'm on YouTube. I'm still keep talking on YouTube, my TikTok. Where was I? Oh, the Black baby boom. It's there, folks, whether we choose to understand it or not, if we want it. If we want it. It threw me off a little bit. TikTok just shut me down. I ain't never had that happen before. Said my phone was hot. I ain't never had that happen. But defining Black manhood is highly important. Conflict resolution, skills. Oh, these medications that they're giving our young men, whether we understand it or not, many of them start to use because of those medications. I've worked at a lock facility before, and I've caught young men, a young man specific, his face is actually, the whole scenario's in my head right now. And I'm walking through, it's a lock facility, so I'm checking, looking indoors after meds. So his back was turned and he looked like he was up to something. So I popped the door, looked at him. He had a straw that he got from the cafeteria. He crushed, he cheeked his pills, got him back to his room, crushed them, and he was snorting them. And what I asked him, what's going on? His exact words were, I don't feel like I used to when I first started taking them. And this is what he switched to. So what do you think he did when he got home? Or when he wanted more than what was prescribed? He went to the streets. He was already snorting legal medication. Legal. We have to understand that. I'm good. We have to understand. We have to understand that ADHD just came around, which means we the oldest folks on earth. What have we been doing with anxious children for hundreds of thousands of years? What have we been doing with children that don't have the focus that we need? What have we been doing? We've been successful. We built the world. Just in this country, we built everything. And when I say everything, folks, I'm talking about everything. Everything. From irons to ironing boards to golf tees to refrigerated units to everything. So we just got all these diagnoses? Hell no. Slows us down, whether we choose to understand it or not. Getting us used to medication, getting us used to just having our children quiet, because that's what it does. It calms them down and helps them not be themselves. Not be themselves. That's what it is. So, great go again.
You know Pac just got killed.
I'm great go again. Just a minute, folks. I'm great. See if I can go live right here again. One more again. Yeah, I'm gonna resume. Yeah, folks. Welcome back, TikTok. I hope y'all coming back to me. Still discussing Takeoff, the untimely death, but I want to say it could definitely been a predictable death, meaning we wouldn't know what hip hop dude is going to catch it. We would definitely understand that because of lyrics, because of the culture. That's the culture. Something going to happen to somebody. And think about this. Who gets paid when a lot of these young men, in fact, I don't even want to get into that. What we got? We got a few more minutes left. I want to get into a better understanding of we need to react the way we did, the way we reacted with Takeoff. We need to react to every death in the city. We do. Wherever you are, we need to react. We need to post pictures after every death. We need to post them pictures. Send condolences to the family. 50, 100,000 at a time, like Takeoff got. To make folks think. To make that part of the culture. To make the part of the culture positivity and an understanding that we're walking away from something. That's no longer part of our manhood, the violence and destruction. That's no longer part of the community. It shouldn't be. It can't be. It can't be. You understand? But in my opinion, the only way that'll happen is if we take it local, if we have a better understanding of what's going on around us, and that affects us more than any celebrity passing away. The celebrities do have influence with what our children listen to as well as us. What we take in and digest as well as our youth. We have that understanding. But when someone acts on those lyrics or wants to duplicate those actions, it affects us because it's close. Because we're sending our children to the bus stop to go to work, our grandchildren. That's when we get upset. Do you understand that? We get upset when it's personal. But before that, oh, that happened on the other side of town. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Nah. Show the same love that we just showed Takeoff. Show the same love and attention and tears, and please stop the violence. And I'm tired of this. And we need all of that, because it would be every day. It would be every day. You understand? Every day. And it's a connection to where people don't think beyond doing stuff hard and aggressive, and we gonna do it like this. Let me tell you something about being hard and aggressive. Sometimes it don't get you what you need. All we talk about in the community is negative police. That's all we talk about. Guess how we get rid of them? Knowing how to act and behave. If they can't justify OT, most cops will quit because they're living beyond that base salary. You understand what I'm saying? If we learn how to act and behave and get skills that pay the bills and build our neighborhoods, most police will leave if they can't justify the OT, if they can't justify why they have so many arrests in this area and there's nothing going on, why they would go somewhere else. If we learn how to, or if we redefine what manhood is in the Black community, the police would still be there. And then let's talk about this. We would actually, by that, we would start to groom young men. It's a lot of young men and women that want to be police and do good for the community, but because of how we look at the police, because of how we see the interaction with many bad cops, it's a negative to become a police officer in our community many times. But many youth really want to because they want to do good things in the community. Well, if we learn how to act and behave, they'll be the only cops in the community, the only ones that love the community. Everybody else will go. They will have to. Their mentality won't allow them to stay if they don't get the rough folks up. If they don't get to make an extra $700-800 a week on OT, they would leave because we learn how to redefine manhood for Black men. That's the only way I'm starting to understand what I guess I'm trying to get to while I'm talking, if y'all understand what I'm saying. We need to redefine Black manhood and everything will be better, but it's a slow process. And sad to say, it takes some calling out, not specifically individuals, but actions. It takes calling out certain actions. It takes men, not the women. It takes men to check the men. Like the video that went viral about the brother that put the brother out his car. He was supposed to. He didn't want to take care of his kids because his lady cheated on him. She put him out. He mad because she took a picture with new dude. He don't want to take care of his children. What that got to do with your children? But there's many men walking around right now, that haven't seen their children in over a year, 2 years. Don't talk to them on a regular. That's part of what's going on in the community. That's leaving young men trying to figure out how they define manhood. It's leaving them to their own judgments, which is not good, which is definitely not good. They need you, Black men. Stay home, get your skills up, get your reading up, get your understanding of this society up, and have a clear understanding that violence, prison, going hard for dumb shit has nothing to do with the manhood unless that's how you see manhood, and it's going to conflict with reality. And you're going to keep bumping your head, whether that's getting locked up, whether that's having bad relationships, whether that's having 4, 5 baby mamas, whatever it is, you need to check your emotions, check your ego, and redefine manhood for yourself. And watch your circle. You're gonna lose some friends. You might lose family. You might lose oh, you don't want to do this? No, nah. My son got a game in the morning. I'm going home so I can make sure I'm there. I ain't hanging out with y'all tonight because I ain't gonna get until 4, 3. I'm gonna miss my son game. That stuff, that's small. But that's every day. Whether we choose to understand it, we gotta think local. We have to do it individually. We have to do it within our little crews, within our homes. Nothing great. None of these superstars are gonna make an influence enough for us individually. It has to come from something close, from people close to us. But we also have to have an understanding that we have to have the mindset to want to learn and to want to change. If you don't see nothing wrong with going in and out of prison, ain't nothing going to change. If people still sending you over and you on your third, fifth, sixth bit, I'm going to get clicked off again. TikTok, they saying my phone hot is coming up. So sorry, I'm definitely not going to be coming back on, but y'all get me. I'll be there tonight though. But if it clicks off again, y'all know what it is. My phone heating up. But we have to have a clear understanding of different men define manhood in different ways, and that's one of the biggest problems we have. And there just should be certain things that are concrete with manhood, especially Black manhood, as dangerous as it is with us out here. We have to have certain things in place, meaning we need to be in the house, or I should say the home. We do. I'm not saying stay somewhere that you don't want to be or you shouldn't be. What I'm saying is pick wisely and be consistent with your children. With your children. Be consistent with your children. That's it. That changes the narrative of a Takeoff. That changes the narrative of the last 10 dudes in Baltimore that have been murdered probably in the last 10 to 12 days. You understand what I'm saying? It's just how it has to be. Little bit at a time. And when I'm talking, I'm living now, but y'all hear me periodically talk about I ran the street. Y'all hear me periodically talk about certain things, hard times here and there. It's life, but you better be a student of life and push forward all the time and evaluate yourself all the time and think clearer and clearer as you age and as you have experiences. That will help us redefine manhood in the Black community. If not, it's going to be on repeat. It's been on repeat since the 80s, whether y'all understand it or not. It's been on repeat since the 80s. It's a lot of change going on right now, but this cycle of street life and it being fun 25% of the time, and we mourning or upset about what's going on 75% of the time, it's been going on since the 80s, but the change is here. The change is here. I truly believe that. I definitely believe that. But with that, the DG show with Dana and Coco, Sundays, 7 to 8. YouTube, The Angry Black Dude. Instagram, The Angry Black Dude. Of course, TikTok, The Angry Black Dude. Facebook, Derek E. Graham. Don't forget the E. And I'm going to see y'all, next Sunday. Oh, we're getting into Hebrews to Negroes next Sunday, except we're going to do a critique of the documentary. We're not just going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We definitely going to break it down. Anyway, see ya.